everybody, Kat from Creative Crafts here. I want to welcome you to my channel, and today's DIY is about how to make black and white Christmas theme trees and decorations. Want to know how I did that? Watch further. As you can see, this is a black and white theme DIY. It's going to have 4 DIYs on it. You already know how to do this, but I'm going to still add it on to this DIY video. But this is made from cardboard. This is from, this tree is from coffee filters. And here you can see this is extra fur in the back. Want to know how I did that? Watch further. So everybody, I already made a slight video on how to do this, and I realized you couldn't even see what I was doing. So now I'm going to do it over again. So the first thing I said, you take the tip of the paper on one corner and you hold, you hold the other end and you start twisting. And what happens is once this top starts going into a cone shape, you just keep going around and then you hold it, tape the inside so that it doesn't do anymore, and then you can roll the rest, tape the other side of the cone, and there you go. You have your cone. This is just a showing you how to make a cone. Doesn't matter what size cone you make. That's how you're going to do it. Now, you'll say, okay, what about the end? Take the pair of scissors and then you cut the ends off. I'll show you that. And you just take the cone, try to keep it level all the way around. And there you go. You can put it down, and if it wobbles like it does right now here, that means somehow it's unlevel somewhere, and you can double check. Doesn't have to be perfect, but once you get everything on it, on the cone, it should work even finer. Can't talk today. But that's how you make a cone. No matter what size, it's very easy to make. Pull it, tape it here, and then when you're done taping everything, then you can start taping this whole thing up. Like I did here with this one here. I taped it from the inside all the way up to the cone part up top. So that's how you do it. So everybody, like I said, you're going to need cardboard and newspaper. And the reason for that is we're going to need to make support inside, because once you start putting stuff on top of all the cones, you don't want it to dent in. So the best way to do it is, first you need the newspaper, but I'm going to show you how to make a do that, what I just did. So slightly, well, we know that it's going to go around like this, because it's basically perfectly round. So now I know I need what size of frame I'm going to make. Let's get a ruler. I need a ruler. See how this thickness of this ruler? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. Hold it correctly. Can't hold on things correctly today. And you're going to need 2. But I'm going to make a couple more, because I'm going to put newspaper in, and then I'm going to put some extra cardboard pieces crisscrossing. You'll see what I'm talking about, to help support it better. So 1, 2, 3, let's do 4 here. I really can't hold on to shit. So you don't want it too thick. So now that you got that, you want to cut all of this out. And so how I want to do that is, the biggest that I'm going to need is you follow the circle that you made. And I'm just going to go across like that. So I know. And when I need to make the part smaller on the inside, which you're going to need to do that. So I'm going to do this. Make sure that it's even. No, that wasn't even. Of course not. That's me for you. That's why I like to eyeball stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect because you can cut it later. I just don't want to cut too much of the cardboard and waste it. So now, as you can see, I'm cutting the cardboard up. So now what we're going to do is going to take our cone, as you can see here. Let me make sure that you can see it. Don't want to tape and then find out you can't see what I'm doing. So now you're going to take the newspaper and you're going to crumble it up and try to make a point, because this is going to be way up top. So try to make a point, or like a cone point at the end, and stop that way at the end. And make sure it's tight. And then you keep filling it up until you get to a certain width. You know, like I said, this is what this is for. But I will cut this later. Right now, I want to put some more deeper inside. So what you're going to do is keep filling this up. So now that I have that in there, I want to stick my cardboards, 2 of them, inside there crisscross. So what I'm going to do is, cardboard is about here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to need to maybe make a slant cut and see if that fits. Yeah, that fits perfect. So now I want to put another one in, and you're going to need it the same size, but you're going to put a slant also on the other one end. You don't need it on both ends, I don't think. And now, how I'm going to make that crisscross so it sticks together is you just take just a tiny bit of a slant, just not too much. Pull it down and then do it to the other side also. Make sure you put it in the right area. Cut it. And there we go. Now we have 2 pieces that are cut. And what you can do now is, you see how it's basically perfect laid out there together. So what we're going to do is, you're going to make sure that it is perfect. So if it's still not going down the way you want it, cut it just a tad bit more, or rip out that piece and then stick that in. There you go. That's perfect. So now I'm going to take some tape, because I want to make sure that it doesn't move around. And I'm going to take some tape, make sure that it's flush. We don't want it to move around too much. You can also take some tape and go like this with it if it wants to stick. There we go. And this is what we want to do to both ends, for here and for the very end. So now I'm going to take this and stick it in as far as I can. So now I'm going to turn this up. Newspaper came up a little bit. So now I'm going to stick this with some tape so it doesn't move. As you can hear, it's moving. I'm going to have to do it this way, which will be easier for me. And actually not. Alright, that's better. Get in there. Thank you. So, top part up. And now it's stuck in there, as you can see. So, as you can see here, hopefully you can. So now I'm going to put some more newspaper in, and then I'm going to want to add another set of these supports on the inside. So now I want to start making the support beam here. So I'm just going to cut very lightly with one corner and see how much more I have to do, because you don't want to cut off too much. You don't want to put too much of an indent, you know, into it, so that it's getting the support that it needs here on the ends. What you want, you can just maybe try to put it directly, a little bit slanted. No, I went the wrong slant way. There we go. That's better. So there we go. I did it wrong, of course. Maybe I don't need to put slants in it. Definitely you have to put a slant in it. You have to. So very slight slant. And then I think it's this way. Let's hope I'm right. Yeah, there we go. So make a slight slant. And what I would do is take the paper, and I would take right away before I start cutting anything in it, tape that piece on so that it doesn't move so much. And as you notice, up here needs a little bit more of a cut, so I will slant it just a pad more, and it's perfect. So now I will take my tape, put some here on the bottom, on the side of it first, and then there we go. We have a little bit of support here, and now I want to stick one piece going this way, but I'm going to have to make a big piece, apparently. I'm going to need to make a slight slant on both sides. The reason why you have to make a slant on the cardboard is because when you put the... Why is it a sneak? Oh, okay, it goes in more. So now what I'm going to do is cut a slant piece from here off, so they can go in there. Now I got to do the same thing for the other cardboard. Do not go too far deep inside, because you do not want, you know, to cut through it. So now that I got that in there, what you could do is you take a cardboard, the other piece, and now I can stick it in here. And you say, okay, it's not going in deep enough. So what I want to do is cut a tad bit more from that, and see how that works. And I think it works perfect. But I think I'm going to have to cut just a little bit more off of this one. It's actually bending it too much. If you want, you can leave it like that, and then I will cut the rest off if you want, or you can go ahead and just keep doing it until you cut the amount that you need. Because I really want that to go all the way inside so that it's flush with the floor. So here we go. This side needs a little bit more. Sometimes you're going to have to work with it so that it works. There we go. So now I'm going to tape first the cardboard piece here, and then I can tape the paper onto the cardboard, the sides. this is my method. No one has to really follow this method, but I just suggest that this is the best way to do it. Now what I'm going to do is take my glue gun now and glue here in the ends. So everybody, I glued this whole thing. As you can see, it's nice and stable now. So what you're going to do now is, the next step is putting the fur onto it. No matter what kind of fur, this is, like I said, black and white Christmas. So first we're working with the black tree. So now I want to show you what I did. I measured it. Let me put this up higher so you can maybe see the whole thing. There you go, it's better. So now you can see I took my measurements here and I cut a little bit off the top so there won't be so much extra. As you can see here, cut the part here end. So the first thing I'm going to do is, what my suggestion is take some glue from the bottom. Take some glue from the bottom all the way up to the top, the hot glue, and zigzag it. Put as much as you can, because being cheap on this won't hold on to the fur. So all the way up to the top. So now that it's done, what I'm going to do now is, let me always put it down just a tad so you can see what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is, right from the middle, I'm going to fold this here, the fur, fold it in half. And from the bottom to the top, I just want to fold it so that I know directly in the middle, that's where it's gone. So now that I got that in there, I can set it back. I can set it up now. Turn it around. Get my glue gun. And take the fur, put it to the side, whatever fur you don't need. And I would do the same thing. So now I'm going to glue the rest, and then I'm going to cut off all excess here on the end, and then of course I'm going to see if I have enough that I cut off that I can stick on here, and if there is, I still have a little bit more anyway, but I'm going to stick this, and this is going to be the back end. You're not going to notice once all the hair all over the place, even in my mouth. So now that I get this, I want to make sure I want to glue the rest of this down. For one, I can add it to the fur, so I don't have to worry about it going too much over. So now I'm going to the top part. You probably can't see it, but the top part, I'm just going to glue it onto the fur because I don't want the glue to be everywhere. So now the top, like I said, you can just mix so you can't see. You can't see that. That's good. So now let's do this part. Like I said, here is glued. So now I'm going to take my, I need another glue stick. There we go. So now I'm going to stick it on to the fur, like I said. And then make sure you go over, like I said, pat it like you do with your dog. And then do the same thing. I'm just going to glue this whole thing, the whole fur. Make sure I put enough. So, don't worry about the strings. And like I said, and glue it down. So now that I got it pretty much glued in the places where it belongs. So now you see here, you can either tuck this in, glue it inwards if you want. I probably will do that because as you can notice the mess that I have here from the hair that I cut before. So I'm going to just take my glue gun. Don't know where that came from. But I'm going to take my glue and fold it over. That's the best bet. I mean, it's still not going to make it crooked. I'll do the same thing for the other ends too when I glue it up here. So you can just stick it onto the fur if you want. And this hair is all over my glue gun. I'm going to have to clean this up. So there we go. And stick it over, and stick it over. Oops, you don't want to bend that. And then you're going to do the same thing to this end. Stick it in, and then stick it in. Make sure you fold it so that you know that it's all flush here on the ends. So now I'm going to do this part here. As you can see. So I think I'm going to take this part because it has like a corner. So I'm going to stick this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick the glue onto this area here first. Make sure you get the corners really well, the sides too, and then in the middle. Make sure you put enough glue on there so that you know you're not going to screw it up. So there we go. And that's that end. I'm going to have to vacuum later. So now here is this end, which I think I'm going to go this route, or should I go this route? You know what, I think I'm going to stick it on this here first. Now back down. And now I can take whatever I want to put on here and then stick it there. Remember, this is the back, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but you still want it to look good. In areas that you feel, just feel it and you feel that sticking up, then I would re-glue it. Put some more glue on it. I'm going to need a new glue gun. Okay, I guess I didn't really need much on this end. Alright, so now I'm going to turn it around. And then I'm going to glue now, take all the extra hair off. And apply glue. Now fold it over, and make sure you fold it over well, so that, like I said before, so that you know it's all folded out perfect. So check it all over. Like I said, feel it. Like I said, I felt some places that were needed some kind of glue still. Like certain areas here. I'm going to try not to get near the fur. And make sure that I got it there. So everybody, I vacuumed everything. There's no more hair everywhere. And now I'm going to stick this cute little, what do you call it? Snowflake, silver snowflake, and I'm going to, as you can see, the glue's falling already. I'm just gonna try to glue that so that it stays straight up. And that's one part. So now let me get all this festive stuff out of the way. So now what I'm going to do is, I bought these glitter balls for 99 cents. And I'm going to take them and I'm going to randomly put them on here. There you go, everybody. Here's the full Christmas tree. Put little silver balls on it, little snowflake way up top, and it's done. So if you like what I did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd love to have you join my family, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!